few basic things that if you practice every day can make all the difference in the world, how it works out.
Whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you. Sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours.
Figuring out for yourselves what makes you happy. No matter how crazy it may sound to the people, ask yourselves, who do you want to be? Not what, but who.
Working really hard is what successful people do.
You keep pushing because you believe in yourself and in your vision. And you know that it is the right thing to do and success will come. So don't be afraid to fail.
Aspire to make a difference. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up.
Tear down that mirror that makes you always look at yourself. And you will be able to look beyond that mirror. And you will see the millions of people that need your help.
You only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances.
And we do that by the way we think. We do that by exercising our mind. We do that by processing ideas and come up with a better philosophy, a better strategy for our life, goals for the future.
It's what you do with what you have.
Is the major determining factor in how your life works out. Your whole life can start to change from today on. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You don't have to wait till next month. You don't have to wait till spring. You don't have to wait till 93. You can start this whole process immediately.
You can't always win, but don't be afraid of making decisions. You can't be paralyzed by fear or failure, or you will never push yourself.
In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you've already done.
Then, when you go take action, make sure that the action is not what somebody told you to do. Make sure the action is the product of your own conclusion.
I love it when someone says that no one has ever done this before, because then when I do it, that means that I'm the first one that has done it. So pay no attention to the people that say it can't be done.
That's what makes us different than all other life forms. The ability to think, the ability to use your mind, the ability to process ideas, and not just operate by instinct.
When you're out there partying, horsing around, someone out there at the same time is working hard. Someone is getting smarter and someone is winning. Just remember that.
That is the major challenge of life.
Don't be afraid to fail. Anything I've ever attempted, I was always willing to fail.
How do you turn all this stuff? If it makes you wonder, if it makes you think, then it's valuable. I'm telling you the man works on his craft. I'm telling you the man's done some extra reading. I'm telling you the man doesn't miss a trick. I'm telling you he's worked hard on himself. That's why he's able to deliver like he does.
When I feel pain, that's when I start counting, because that's when it really counts. That's what makes you a champion. That's the way it is with everything. No pain, no gain. What is the point of being on this earth if all you want to do is be liked by everyone and avoid trouble?
Is it possible to take some of each of all the stuff that's available and turn it into food and turn it into value and turn it into nourishment, turn it into something spectacular and unique that no other life form can do? And the answer is yes. And it doesn't matter whether it's a dollar or whether it's your money or whether it's your cholesterol count. All you got to do is commit the errors, and just because disaster doesn't fall on you at the end of the first day that you don't eat an apple, starts the weakness, starts the disaster process. You can imagine what happens in 6 years.
As a man thinketh, thought and character. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. Act is the blossom of thought. and joy and suffering are its fruits. Thus does a man garner in the sweet and bitter fruitage. If a man's mind hath evil thoughts, pain comes on him, as comes the wheel the ox behind. Man is a growth by law, and not a creation by artifice. And cause and effect is as absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as in the world of visible and material things. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but is the natural result of continued effort in right thinking. Man is made or unmade by himself. In the armory of thoughts he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace. Man ascends to the divine perfection. By the abuse and wrong application of thought, he descends below the level of the beast. Of all the beautiful truths pertaining to the soul which have been restored and brought to light in this age, is more gladdening or more fruitful of divine promise and confidence than this, that man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and the maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. As a being of power, intelligence, and love, man holds the key to every situation. Only by much searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained, and man can find every truth connected with his being, and that he is the maker of his character, the molder of his life, and the builder of his destiny, as a means of obtaining that knowledge of himself which is understanding, power, wisdom, ceaseless importunity, can a man enter the door of the temple of knowledge. Effect of thought on circumstances. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall therein. How the thought forces and mind elements operate in the shaping of his character, circumstances. The outer conditions of a person's life will always be found to be harmoniously related to his inner state. Every man is where he is by the law of his being. The thoughts which he has built into his character have brought him here. And as he learns the spiritual lesson which any circumstance contains for him, it passes away and gives place to other circumstances. It reaches the height of its cherished aspirations. It falls to the level of its unchastened desires. Seeds sown or allowed to fall into the mind and to take root there produces its own, blossoming sooner or later into act and bearing its own fruitage of opportunity and circumstance. Good thoughts bear good fruit. As the reaper of his own harvest, man learns both by suffering and bliss, following the inmost desires, aspirations, thoughts by which he allows himself to be dominated, steadfastly walking the highway of strong and high endeavor. Nor does a pure-minded man fall suddenly into crime by stress of any mere external force, and the hour of opportunity revealed its gathered power. Circumstance does not make the man, it reveals him to himself. No such conditions can exist as descending into vice and its attendant sufferings apart from vicious inclinations. Even at birth the soul comes to its own, and through every step of its earthly pilgrimage it attracts those combinations of conditions which reveal itself. Divinity that shapes our ends is in ourselves. Only himself manacles man. Thought and action are the jailers of fate. They imprison, being base. They are also the angels of freedom. They liberate, being noble. Not what he wishes and prays for does a man get, but what he justly earns. His wishes and prayers are only gratified in answer when they harmonize, being noble. In the light of this truth, what then is the meaning of fighting against circumstances? That a man is continually revolting against without, while all the time he is nourishing and preserving its cause in his heart. That cause may take the form and effect without, while all the time he is nourishing and preserving, it stubbornly retards the efforts of its possessor and thus calls aloud for remedy. The man who does not shrink from self-crucifixion can never fail to accomplish the object, and how much more so he who would realize a strong and well-poised life. Here is a man who is wretchedly poor. He is extremely anxious that his surroundings and home comforts and considers he is justified in trying to deceive his employer on the ground of the insufficiency of his wages. Here is a rich man who is the victim of a painful and persistent disease, illustrative of the truth that man is the causer. He is continually frustrating its accomplishment.